What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders and welcome to another episode of Testing Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out the 2020 BMW 330i xDrive. Welcome to the 2020 BMW 330. Now in its 7th generation, the new 3 Series all new and ready to get back into the competitive game with the compact luxury sedan market. This generation of the BMW 3 Series has an all-new chassis code, the G20, and the G20 is on an all-new modular platform named the BMW CLAR platform, and its platform underpins all of the rear, drive, and biased models. This platform was created because it can accommodate a plug-in hybrid and fully electric models. With the way the market is moving, that made a lot of sense developing a new platform. This is the 2020 BMW 330 xDrive, and all 330s come standard with BMW's B48 inline 4-cylinder, making 255 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. Because this model is an xDrive model, that means it's all-wheel drive, and it weighs just over 3,700 pounds. Despite that weight, it does get about 25 in the city and 35 on the highway. And this vehicle is pretty quick for the 4-cylinder model. It goes 0 to 60 in about 5.3 seconds, which is pretty cool because this is the slowest version of the 3 Series we get in the US. So the BMW 330 starts at about $42,000, and this one has a few options on it. The BMW 330 comes in 3 different specs. It comes in the Sport line, the Luxury line, and the M Sport. This one is a Luxury line, and this one has the convenience package with the Live Cockpit Pro and heated seats. With those packages, this 330 xDrive is about $48,000, but that is about average for luxury sedans with the amount of equipment that this one has on it. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look around the car to kind of see what it's like. Welcome to the walk around portion of the 2020 BMW 330i. So let's go ahead and walk around the front here. Let's first look at the front. So this is a new generation of the 3 Series. So this is the G20 generation of the 3 Series. And they changed a lot of things pretty drastically for this model. So this car now matches the way the rest of the BMW lineup looks now. So if you take a look at the headlights, they're all new, so now they're all full LED. So now they have this LED daytime running lights. It's all standard and stuff. So now instead of, you have to option you could option better headlights, of course, but these are the stock ones. It also has LED turn signals. Some nice big kidney grills there, and I believe these have active grille shutters, which is pretty cool. And this is the Sport line, and I think this looks pretty good. Like, it has like some functional air ducts down there. You can see some little light in there, but it looks pretty good. So walking on the side, it does look like the rest of the BMW models here. So like, you know, it's pretty good looking from the side. Like, it's nice and athletic looking. It is long, but you know, cars have to get bigger now because there's another model that slots in under this now. And the taillights, oh, I love the taillights. I love the taillight design on here. So if you take a look here, so it's just like a very simple like L line here. I think that looks pretty good, and I think the back is one of the best angles of the 2023 series. Sorry about that, sun. It's rising over there, but I think it looks really good. It's basically the same over here for the side. One thing that I like about this 3 Series is like it's about as wide as a 5 Series used to be, but it's still not as long. But so that's pretty nice. So it's pretty roomy for a car of this size. And honestly, all the cars like this are just like this, pretty long now. So, you know, it's not anything different, but I like it. So one cool thing I like about it, BMW has like the system to where you don't have to get the key out your pocket to unlock it. But now they've added the system on the 3 Series to where all you gotta do is walk up to it and it unlocks itself. And see the mirrors unfold, which is pretty cool. So there's the interior of the 2023 series. Welcome to the interior of the 2023 series, and the interior of the new 3 Series is really nice. Like, the materials are way nicer, the quality is way nicer, and it just looks really good. So this one has the Live Cockpit Pro, so let's go ahead and start it up.
As you can see, it comes to life pretty nicely there. I think it looks really good, really good. So now you have configurable displays. Turn that heat down. You have configurable displays here, just like you get in like Audis and things like that now. And when you change the mode, it changes like that. I think that looks pretty awesome. And then now you got this nice big screen. And the new BMW Infotainment System is really good. Like, it's a lot better than it used to be. Like, I talked about this in the driving portion. I'm going to talk about this in the driving portion. So this has Apple CarPlay. That's free for a year. And then after that, you got to pay for it. And then, like, you know, it has some really cool functions with the GPS and all that stuff. It's just standard issue BMW infotainment system. It has the Hey BMW thing. See?
Good morning. What can I help you with?
You know, I didn't really experiment too much with that just because I feel like those systems don't always work that well. So, like, yeah, it's not really worth it to me. So one thing, it also has the sunroof. It has like a canvas shade now that closes automatically, like you would get on like a panoramic sunroof. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty cool. So since this is the sport line, it does come with paddle shifters, which is connected to a very responsive and sharp 8-speed ZF transmission, and also has some awesome seats. I love these seats so much. So one thing that's kind of cool, so it has a Type-C in the center console here for charging. Also has some Type-C chargers in the back, but then like the main USB port is up here in the cup holder, which is really nice, is you don't have to really fumble around for it to look for it. And then it has a spot there for you to put like your key if the key dies. And also I think that can work. I think you can maybe option that as a wireless charger also. And cup holder works pretty well. This is all new too, because BMW's push button start used to be up on the, not on the dash there, but now they have it down here, like almost like Volvo and Audi style, like down here. I think that's really nice. It's, when you get in, the ergonomics of starting the car, it's way easier, way nicer. I like it a lot. And then you also have your various buttons there, and then you got your electric parking brake, and then you got your shifter, and then, you know, you got your whole deal of like controls down here. So here's the climate control screen. I like it. I like how small it is and how they integrated it into the dash like that. Like, it's really subtle and it's really easy to use now. And I'm glad that there's not as many buttons to select. And if you need more options or more things, you go into the climate control system, the infotainment. So you go AC menu, and then you can change things from there. I think that's pretty awesome. But and then like, going across the dash here, it has like the wood interior, then it has like the silver, and it has some pretty good looking speaker grills, and the new door cards look really awesome. Honestly, the interior of the new 3 Series is pretty good. Like, they've stepped their game up big time on this model, and I'm really glad that they did that for the 3 Series. And I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with like the M cars. I'm really impressed with this interior of this 2020 BMW 3 Series. It's so nice. Like, this is not a relatively high model, especially in terms of its interior trimming, but I definitely think it's still a great looking car inside and out. But I can't wait to see what the next I want to see what the high level of 3 Series looks like, because if this is kind of more the low level, then the high models must be really cool. But with that said, let's go ahead and hop on the road and see how it drives. everyone, welcome to the driving portion of the 2020 BMW 330i. Let's go ahead and head on the road and see how this thing drives. First, you gotta drop it into sport mode and just give a quick little pull. All right, let's get on the road and see how this thing drives. Welcome to the driving portion. It is not 25. Welcome to the driving portion of the 2020 BMW 330i. And one thing I can say, I've driven lots of the previous generation BMW 3 Series off camera. This one is a huge improvement over the last one. So the last one handled okay. Like, it was a little floaty and boaty, and steering was just nothing there, and you know, it just didn't drive that well. It drove kind of more like, it drove more luxury than like sporty. And with this 2020 model, BMW brought that sportiness back to the way that the BMW 3 Series drives. So the steering is actually decently sharp considering like it's electric power steering. It has came a long way over from the last generation of BMW 3 Series. Also, like, the transmission is just lightning fast. So let's go ahead and drop some gears in sport mode. Shift. Downshifts. You guys see that? That is absolutely quick. And here we are getting... So, the 2020 BMW 330i is actually pretty dang quick. You know, this has 255 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque. That is up significantly over the previous 240 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque. And I definitely noticed it. Like, the last F20 BMW 3 Series was pretty dang quick already, but this one is pretty close to what the 335 was doing back in the E90 generation of BMWs. And it's crazy that they keep improving these things, these like, even this smaller engine so much to where it feels like a 335 used to feel. I think that's pretty amazing. And that's a pretty amazing and remarkable that the BMW was able to do that with tuning this engine. I believe they just maybe put a bigger turbo on it or something like that. But whatever they did, it is very good. I'm very happy with what they did with this car. So, the 2020 BMW 3 Series is so comfortable. Like, it is so comfortable. So, I've had this car for about 2 weeks. I've been driving this car for about 2 weeks now, and I absolutely love it. I didn't make a video about it because I never made a video introducing the car, but I had a 2007 BMW 3 Series wagon that I sold, that I owned it for about 9 months, and I sold it just because it was just time to I just wanted to get rid of it. I was just not needing another car because you guys know I have my Mark 6 GTI also. But I sold that car, so when I sold that car, my GTI it's lived somewhere else until the end of the week, and I've been driving this, and I decided to I was just driving this car for the couple weeks. But you know, I put about 1,500 miles on this car, and it's been 1,500 wonderful miles. This car is so comfortable, it's so quiet, it's so luxurious. Like, BMW upped their quality a lot since the last 3 Series that I drove and owned. And it's nice to see that they are continuing to improve their vehicles. One thing that improved for me a lot was kind of the visibility. So BMWs always kind of sit nice and low, but they made the side view mirrors a little bit bigger, and I think that helped a lot. I know that, you know, bigger side view mirrors is not very good for styling wise, but BMW managed to make but I'm glad that BMW decided to make the side view mirrors a little bit bigger, so you get some better visibility. You feel like you're got some more visibility when driving the car, and I think that's really nice. And you know, this one has blind spot monitoring and all that stuff, which is really nice. It's actually the first time I've driven a BMW with blind spot monitoring. I know it's not something that they've been doing on the cars for a long time. It's just kind of as recent. I know BMW added. I know they added that feature just to make things a little bit easier for people to purchase the vehicle. So one other really good thing about this BMW that I like is the way it handles. So this is not even like a full M Sport or anything like that. This is just more of the it's more of the Sport line. So it does come with the paddle shifters because it's a Sport line, and it has the Sport seats, which I absolutely love. The Sport seats are the only way to go with the BMW cars. The other seats are just not as good, and they're not leather seats, which is fine with me too. Like, you know, as long as they're heated, I really don't care. Like, I think this looks just as nice as the leather would. But this has the paddle shifters which the transmission responds so quick. And one thing that's really cool about this engine now is one thing so Mini is one of my favorite brands of cars, even though I haven't owned one yet. Like, I've driven a bunch of them. Mini is still one of my favorite brands, and one thing that makes it so cool is the engine that comes in those. So the Minis have the B48 engine and the Cooper S's, just kind of like this one does, but those in that configuration only makes 200 horsepower. But one really interesting feature that those have is the burbles in sport mode. So when you downshift in sport mode, it burbles, which sounds really cool. I love everybody loves the cracks and the pops now, so it makes sense that the BMW had to add that in. So kind of, you know, people who love those type of noises can still get some enjoyment out of driving the regular model of the 3 Series. And this is the first time that I remember a regular 3 Series having that. I believe they might have did that with the F30 generation kind of towards the end, but it didn't burble anything like this one does. So with the other one, you had to get it into a certain temperature and it will start burbling. This one, you turn it on, let it warm up for a second, of course, and you put it in sport mode and you start revving it, it burbles like crazy. And when you're driving it hard, it burbles even more. So that's pretty damn awesome. So, I mean, I have some clips here. I have some clips that I put up before of what it sounds like. I'll put up another one here. But it sounds absolutely awesome. I'm really glad that BMW did that. So the 2020 BMW 3 Series is a very nice car. It's comfortable, it's easy and fun to drive. Like, it is bigger, but you don't really, and it's honestly about the size of an F10 BMW 5 Series in the width. Like, I parked next to one a couple weeks ago and it was literally like the same size. It was kind of crazy. But, you know, it's kind of where the market is going now. Like, cars are getting bigger and bigger, which, you know, it has to happen. And I believe this car got bigger because they're getting ready to slot another car, like the 2 Series. The 2 Series got redesigned for the 2021 or 2020 model year, and it's a 5-door hatchback or 4-door sedan or something like that. I have to look up the exact details. I'll put it down here in the lower thirds of what it exactly is. But it is, you know, a cheaper version. It's basically like BMW's version of like a CLA and Audi A3 and cars like that. So the BMW 3 Series can move up market a little bit. Kind of that's what everybody, all of the automakers are doing. So they all now have a cheaper car, so they now can move like their 3 Series or in this case, or Audi A4 or whatever, A5. They can move those cars up market because they no longer need to serve that kind of lower price point market with their with the 3 Series. They can put something up below it so they can make this nicer. And this one, this car I believe is one of the more expensive compact luxury sedans starting price. So this one starts at about $40,000, and you know, this one of course is 48 grand because it has all-wheel drive and it has a couple option packages. And you know what, I definitely can tell that they moved this car up market because some of the models I have done in this car were on the highway, and it was absolutely comfortable on the highway. I did about 300 miles on the highway in this thing, and it was absolutely amazing. The 2020 BMW 3 Series is an impressive car, and just the way it's styling, the interior setup, they finally kind of, it's still the same old BMW interior, but it's just kind of more of a modern version of it. And I'm glad they got rid of the stupid like floating screen. They kind of like did a different design to where it's kind of right next to the cockpit, which is really nice. But BMW did an excellent job on the design of this car, and I'm pretty dang impressed with it. And I am very glad that BMW kind of is starting to really compete in this market, because the 3 Series was one of the hottest, it is one of the hottest selling compact luxury sedans, and with everybody buying crossovers, they need to give people a reason to buy these sedans, and they need to make it, they need to give some more bang for the buck. They need to give some more bang for the buck. They need to make it so it handles and drives a lot better than it used to. And I can honestly say this 2020 BMW 330 does that. Like, it's much better than the previous one, which I'm really glad about. Because sometimes when driving a new model of car, like, sometimes it can be slightly better. Sometimes it can be slightly better, but not that much better. But this one is way, 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 way better. So, is there anything about this vehicle that I don't like? Not really, honestly. Like, honestly, the only thing I don't like is the simple fact that we're not going to get the wagon here in the U.S. for the G20 generation of the 3 Series, which makes sense, but also I'm not happy about it because I love my hatchbacks and wagons. But it makes sense because people are buying more crossovers than wagons and cars, so that definitely makes sense. But this car is pretty dang good. Like, there's only been a couple times where it's had some small things. So this car has an automatic locking feature. When you walk up to it, the car unlocks and the mirrors unfold and all that good stuff. Sometimes there's been a few times where it just didn't work, and that's been kind of annoying. But for the most part, like, everything worked fine. I had no problems. The new iDrive system works pretty well. Apple CarPlay is pretty easy to pair. And like, I don't have any serious complaints about this car. It's really nice to drive. It's really comfortable. It looks really good. It's easy. It's easy to own and easy to live with. And after I've done 1,500 miles in this car and had it for about 2 weeks, like, I've definitely lived with this car. And honestly, I wish I had kind of the money to go out and at least see one of these. No, I wouldn't buy a regular version of this car, but I definitely would lease one. And this is definitely a pretty good vehicle. So if you're looking for a comfortable, pretty efficient, and also, I forgot to talk about that. So this car gets 25 in the city and 34 on the highway. And I've experienced about 20... I've been driving the car hard and everything. I've experienced about 23 miles to the gallon, which is really good. And I haven't been really nice on the car. So that's a huge, huge plus right there. So honestly, like, this car is absolutely amazing. Like, BMW knocked out the park with this model of the 3 Series. And if you're looking for a compact luxury sedan, you definitely should go and take a look at the 2020 BMW 3 Series, whether you're looking at the new 330 or if you're looking at the M340i, even though the M340i is a lot more expensive. But for the most part, this car is absolutely amazing, and I highly, 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 highly recommend getting one if you're in this market. So, if you like this video, hit me with a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, keep riding me. Thanks for watching.